Hi everyone, can you let me know if you can hear me?
What I love about Green Chef is that they do all the heavy lifting, so I can just start cooking.
Hear me? Okay, I can see it says there's 4 people, but I can't see any comments at the moment. So I'll wait to see if I can see any comments, and then hopefully I'll know if somebody is there. Just seen a comment from Susan. You can hear me, brilliant. And no doubt you'll hear Eddie in the background, because the minute I start talking, either on the phone or to my computer, he turns into a naughty 2-year-old child. Oh, I can see Susan now, I can see Alison. I can see on YouTube it's saying there's 6 or 7 people watching. Alison, you can hear me, brilliant, thank you. Yeah, no, long time no see. So last week I did that kind of impromptu live, literally as it was going dark, because it took me ages to get on, and I was just basically showing how I was going to calibrate my machine, and I showed some background paper that I'd designed in Canva, and I said if anybody wanted to know how to do it, let me know, and a few people that were on that night said yes they would. So tomorrow I'm busy, but I just thought I would come on and see if we can do a quick live session showing how I created. You should be able to see a section of the background paper that I showed last week. I've not flicked my screen over to Canva or anything yet, but on YouTube you'll see the title of this video that says live 2nd of September, how to make background patterns using Canva. Then you should see a button that says more, and if you click on that button it will then open up the description, and you might have to click on more again, but in the description of where it says how to make your own background patterns using Canva, all the links to everything I'm going to use tonight are listed under this video. So the elements that I dragged or downloaded, I should say, onto my computer from Creative Fabrica are all linked in the description of this video. So if any of you have Creative Fabrica or Fabrica memberships, you can follow those links and you'll be able to download all these files and then, you know, play along in Canva and see if you can recreate your own background paper. There's also a link, the first link under all the hashtags is if you want more information about Creative Fabrica or you want to join, and then underneath that it says things like hand-drawn dots, heart, flowers, hibiscus, design elements. They're all the different files that you'll see in a minute that I've got on my desktop, which I'm going to use. Alison's saying, sorry you had problems last week. I caught up a couple of days after. It was a pain, literally. It's my own fault though for being away for so long, I think. Literally went to go live, thought I was going live, nothing happened, and like an hour and 45 minutes later I finally got on. But I left the live up there because although it was a bit hit and miss, you know, somebody might be able to get some use from it on how to what did I do? Align the scan and cut. It's not called that, is it? Calibrate, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to, I can see it says there's 12 watching. I'm going to flick my screen to my desktop, which has Canva. So hopefully you will be able to see my desktop. And let me just remove my website details. And then this is the home screen of Canva. So if you can just let me know that you can see that. I've not caught up with it yet. I've got it on my phone as well, so it doesn't appear to, oh, it's just flicked over on my phone now. So hopefully you should all start to see my desktop, which has got my Canva home screen. I'm just going to have a drink of my water. So yes, you can see it. Great. Okay, I was waiting for somebody to let me know. Okay, so first of all, I'm using Canva, which is Canva, canva.com. I'm already logged in to my account. Now, just to clarify, thanks Alison, I am using the free version of Canva. You can see the name here. I don't pay. You can pay for what they call a premium subscription, but I just use the free version. So everything that I'm going to show you tonight, and on my YouTube channel I do have a Canva playlist. Anything I've shown you in the past, if you've not seen any of my previous Canva projects or tutorials, are all done using the free version. The free version has got literally tons and tons and tons of stuff. There are sometimes occasions when you click on something, which will probably happen tonight, and it says premium, and basically it allows you to use that premium feature, but so you can still design with it, but when you come to download it, it will ask you to pay for the element that you've used. So if you've just used like one or two elements, there might be, you know, I don't know, a 50p or £1 charge, and you can pay that fee and then you can download that project using those elements. But if you pay for the premium package of Canva, once you've paid for it, you can then use anything at all, including all the premium, you know, images, elements, backgrounds, whatever, and you don't pay any more money. And I'm like kind of on the home screen of my Canva, and you'll see here it says try Canva Pro. That's what I mean by premium. It's pro actually, not premium. And you can try it, I think, for 30 days, but I've never bothered to try it. As I say, I just use the free version. So I can see that there's about 12 people or so watching, and obviously I know now from Susan and Alison that you can see my desktop. So from Creative Fabrica, I've already downloaded these 3 files containing elements, and like I said, all the links to all these files are listed underneath this YouTube video, under the title and under where you'll see the hashtags. You might have to click more or show more, and then they'll all appear for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is you need to, obviously, if you've not already got a Canva account, you need to create one, but it's, as I say, it's completely free. I think you basically just, you know, put your name and your email address in, and then you'll get like a Canva homepage like this. And at the top it says create a design, and you can click on that and you can choose from loads and loads of elements that are already here. You know, so if you want to do something particular, like if you wanted to make a presentation, or you wanted to do some kind of social media banner or thumbnail or something like that, you can, you know, just have a play and save them in your Canva, you know, documents. Like mine shows recent documents here, just a few things that, you know, I've been adding to my Canva elements. But I'm going to start with a custom size. So you should see this box here that says custom size. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to create an A4 page, because in the UK we use A4, and our A4 is about 8¼ wide and about 11¾ high. So depending on which way around you put your element, your measurements here will determine whether you get a landscape or a portrait. I'm going to work in landscape. So in the width, I would type 11.75. First of all, I'm going to change it. Over on the right hand side here, you'll see a box that says PX for pixels. If you click on the downward facing arrow, you can change it to inches, millimeters or centimeters. So however you prefer to work, I prefer to work in inches. So I'm going to change it to inches. I've already got them saved here. That's portrait, this is landscape. But just so we're starting from scratch, I'm going to show you how you would do this. So in the width, I'm going to put 11.75 using the numbers on the keyboard. Then I'm going to click in the height, and I'm going to do 8.25. And then straight away, because I've got two measurements in there, it says create new design. If you're in any other part of the world and you use 8.5 by 11, you put 11 in here and 8.5 in here. So I'm going to say create design. So this should now give me a blank A4 page in landscape orientation. Okay, if you want to see your page size bigger, down at the bottom here you'll see it says zoom, and you can slide the zoom to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to try and make it as big as I can without having to move everything else, because I've got my screen share set up, so I don't want to disturb anything. So that's the page that I've just created. Now, over on the left hand side, you should see these tabs. So elements are all the elements that you can use from within Canva. And again, I've shown you how to use these in the past, but I'll kind of briefly touch on them as I go through tonight. And anything that you've used recently will show up under recently used, and then you can press see all and it'll expand everything you've used recently. It will also then give you some kind of what do you call them, like shortcut links, if you like, to shapes and graphics and stickers and all sorts of things. But I don't want to go too much into that, because I want to try and, you know, get into this tutorial. Text is self-explanatory. If you want to add text, it gives you 3 different sizes of text that you can add straight off the bat, if you like. But then once you select one of those, you can then individually resize it or change the font. And then underneath those are all these kind of like preset designs as well for you. But as I say, once you've got Canva, just go and have a play. Uploads is, as it says, this is anything you upload to Canva. So some of the stuff I'm going to use tonight, I'll be using the upload. Draw, you can, if you want to draw, you can freehand draw. Apps, you can add in apps that are available within Canva, but I'm not going to go into that at the moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to uploads, and you'll see I've already got some of the elements in here, but I'm going to kind of do it as if I'd not done this before. I'm going to go to upload files. I'm going to go to my desktop, because that's where I've got those files that you can see on the right hand side of the screen. And the first one I'm going to go to is the Hibiscus. So I'm going to double click on the Hibiscus to open it. And then within the file, you've got folders. So you've got elements in the DXF format, EPS, PNG and SVG. Now I want to create a background where I can change the colour of the elements. So I'm going to use the SVG. If you use the PNG, they'll only come in the colour. I'll just double click on this folder. They'll only come in this colour and you probably won't be able to change them. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go to the SVG folder. So everything that's in the SVG is in the PNG, the EPS and the DXF. But as I say, to be able to change the colours, I want the SVG. So these are all the elements. You might not be able to see them, you know, particularly well, but these are all the elements that are in this folder. So the one that I showed you last week that I was using for doing the calibration, I think was number 17, I can't remember, but I'm going to have a look at number 21. So I'm going to select 21 and I'm going to say upload, because I don't think I've used this before, so it won't already be in my uploads. So you can see then there was like a bar coming along here and the image has now appeared. So if I left click and drag and drop that onto my screen, that is now an element that I can resize, I can rotate, I can flip it, I can do whatever I want with it. But because I chose the SVG, I can also change the colour. And the way that you know you can change the colour of something is when you select it, you'll see a colour swatch at the top. If you don't see the colour swatch but you see the words image or it sometimes says something else and I can't remember, that means it's as it is, you can't change the colour on it. So has anybody got any questions? I'll keep going, I'll keep, you know, moving on, and if anyone has got any questions, I'll try and keep my eye open for anything that may pop up. So the first thing I'm going to do for this, I'm going to try as much as I can and recreate the background paper that I showed you at the beginning. And as I say, I showed it in last week's live, and it will also be in the YouTube thumbnail of this video, okay? So with it selected, I'm going to come to the colour swatch. Now again, I've got colours that I've added in here and I've, you know, shown how to do this in the past. But I want to change this to a kind of pinky colour, and it's actually this one here, which is it's hashtag E60564. But if you come to the colour swatch at the top, and it's got when you hover over it, it says add new colour. So I'm going to select it, and then what I can do, this little circle at the bottom here, I'm going to drag it, no, not that one, sorry, this one underneath on the like rainbow banner colour. Alison's saying top tips, okay. I'm going to drag this one along into the pinks, okay. And because I've dragged this one along, you'll see now that the swatch has changed, going from black through all the shades of pink. Jill, as far as I'm aware, the instructions should be exactly the same for using Canva, no matter whether you use a Mac or Windows. Because obviously this is not a download program, it's a program you use online. So you know, you access it via canva.com, so it's an online program, so it should be exactly the same. So what I'm going to do now, hopefully you can see this little dot in the corner that's in the black. I'm going to drag this up now into the pinks, and as I'm dragging it up, you'll see the image that's on my A4 piece of paper is changing colour. And if I drag it to that top right hand corner and then bring it back towards the left a little bit, I should kind of get more or less the colour that I want. So when I'm happy with the colour I've chosen, I'm just going to let go of my mouse. So now I've got this image that I've changed to pink that in the original file I downloaded from Creative Fabrica was black. So what I'm also going to do now is I'm going to drag on a corner and I'm just going to resize it. I'm not going to be particular with sizes because I want to try and get through this, you know, as quickly as I can. But again, if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments and I'll try and keep my eye on the comments and, you know, try and answer as I go. So I've literally just dragged it down. So I'm going to put it just up here somewhere, kind of towards the top left of the paper. Now, with it selected, you'll see that I've got the option to delete it or I can duplicate it, and there are 3 dots. If I click on the 3 dots, I can copy and paste it or I can duplicate it as here. I can delete it. I can align it to the page. So if this was something that I wanted to, you know, say align to the left-hand side of a page, I could align it. If it's something that you're creating, say for a blog or a website, I think you can add links to it. But I don't want to do anything other than duplicate it. So I'm just going to left click anywhere on the page and that deselects it, and then I'm going to select it again. So I'm going to duplicate it. So it's put a duplicate on top. And then basically what I do, this, as I say here, this white big piece of paper is basically my A4 piece of paper. I want to have these designs not only on the paper, but I want them hanging off the paper so it looks, when I print this out, as if, you know, this has been cut from a sheet of paper, if that makes sense. Now what I can do, I can select them both and I can duplicate, then I get 2 more, and then I can rotate them and I can, you know, put them on a funny angle and I can have them going off, you know, like this, and then I can put that one a bit further up. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add in a few elements, and then just to save some time, I'm going to kind of like select everything and like duplicate or copy and paste it to save a little bit of time. So what I also want to do now, I want to add some other elements that I've already got here, which are from the other folders that are on my desktop. But again, I'm going to, like heart flowers are some of these, but then I've got other things called elements. So I'm going to go to upload. I'm going to go back to my desktop and I'm going to go to the elements folder. So I'm double clicking on the elements folder to open it, and again I get the other options, and then in this one you get PDF options as well, but again I want the SVGs because I want to be able to change the colours. So I'm going to double click on the SVG folder, and then these are some other elements that, you know, I might want to use in this design. So I'm going to choose number 22. Let me see if there's anything else, and I'm going to hold the, I think it's the Command key on a Mac, and it might be the Control key on Windows, and I'm going to select this one. So on the bottom row, this one that's got like the 4 or 5 like water droplets, and the one that's got the 2, and hopefully by having them both selected I should be able to upload them both at the same time. So I'm going to click upload. You can see I've got 2 blue bars here, so it's showing that they've both uploaded under my uploads. And again, I'm going to left click. Now, if you just left click once on the design here, it drops it on the page, or you can left click and drag. It doesn't really matter. So let's deal with this one first. So again, because I brought in the SVG, I've got the colour swatch. So I'm going to change these to a blue colour. Now, these colours down here are colours I think that by default show up when you use a blank design in Canva. So for this one, I'm going to choose this turquoise blue. So I've instantly turned this to turquoise blue. I want to make it smaller, so I'm going to drag it down. These are what I call like filler elements, if you like. And I'm going to like pop it into the middle here. Then I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to rotate it and I'm going to pop it up there so it kind of like hangs off the page. Then I'm going to duplicate it again and I'm just going to rotate it a different way and I'm going to position it in here, and if I want to make it smaller I can make it smaller from within here. Then I'm going to come to this other one and I'm going to choose the colour swatch again, and then I'm going to make this, I didn't use this one I don't think last time, but I'm going to make it a slightly darker shade of blue to see how that looks. Might make it this dark blue, and again I'm just going to shrink it down, I'm going to rotate it and, you know, just position it somewhere where I think. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use hopefully something that's already in Canva. So I'm going to come back over to the left hand side to the elements, and in search elements I'm going to left click and I'm going to type leaf and hit enter. And then you can see here it says graphics or photos. I want graphics because hopefully graphics will enable me to change colours if I need to. And then you can see it says see all. So that will open up all the graphics of leaf or leaves that are in here, and there's loads. But I'm just going to scroll back to the top. Now again, anything that's got the little crown next to it is the pro version. So I could select that and I could make it smaller and I could use it in this design, but when I come to download it, it will tell me that I've got to pay for this element. Okay, so I'm just going to send that to the trash and I'm going to try and find one that's free. So let's have a look at this one. So I'm going to drag this one on. Excuse me. Now again, because I use graphic, you'll see at the top here I've got colour swatches, and this time I've got two, and that's because, let me see if I can just zoom in a little bit on this to show you. Can you see that this leaf is dark green with a lighter green on the veins? Let me just come back out so we can see the page. So if I want to use those greens, then I don't have to do anything. But if I want to change the shades of these greens, so let's say I want to change the background, the dark green, I'd click on the dark green colour swatch, and then I could either come down to the default colours and select a default colour, and you'll see it's changed it instantly. Or again, I can come up to the colour swatch, and because I've got a green chosen down here, it's automatically brought up the green gradient window, and this little dot on this light rainbow colour bar is in the greens. So again, now I can click on the dot that's in this like gradient window, if you like. And if you liked this particular colour and you wanted to use it excuse me, again in another program, it tells you what the hex code is here. So you could keep a note of that hex code, and then, you know, let's say you were doing a Word document and you wanted to have your text in this specific green, you go into your Word document, and where you choose or change the colours, you could type this hex code and you would get this green. You can, Alison, you can put free, yes. Yes, you can. But I think even then, I think sometimes some of the pro ones still come up. But yeah, you can choose free on anything. So like if you wanted a rabbit design, you could put free rabbit and they would come up. So let's just use this little dot here in the gradient window, because I kind of like that green, but I don't think it goes exactly with what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm going to drag this little dot through these greens, and can you see the colour is changing here? So I'm going to say, yes, I'm happy with that because I don't want to, as I say, spend too long onto it. I'm going to go to the other swatch now, which was the veins. And then this time I'm going to choose this, what's called lime green. And can you see now that the veins have turned to this lime green? So for the process of this tutorial or video, if you like, I'm just going to stick with that. Now again, I'm going to size it down. I'm going to rotate it and I'm going to position it on one of these hibiscus. Now again, I'm going to zoom in. So can you see it's over the top of the hibiscus, and the leaf would normally be behind a flower, wouldn't it? You know, underneath it. So with the leaf selected, up at the top here where it says position, I'm going to click backward. I might have to click it more than once, or you could say to the back, and it's now gone behind that leaf. So now I'm just going to position it a little bit more behind. Here's the rotate handle. I'm going to rotate it ever so slightly. Might do it a bit more. And then I'm going to duplicate it. So I've got another one. I'm going to rotate that one this way. Place it like so. And again, position, let's say to back. And it's gone straight to the back. So now, let me zoom in the hope that you can see it. Can you see that I've got the two leaves and they're positioned behind the hibiscus flower? So let's just come back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click on the first leaf, hold my shift key down and click on the second leaf. So I've just got two leaves, hopefully selected. And because I've got something or some things connected, the box appears that says you can group them, you can duplicate them, you can trash them. I'm going to group them and then I'm going to duplicate them. So they've grouped together in the kind of orientation that I position them, if that makes sense, to themselves. So now I'm going to drag them over here. I'm going to rotate them. And I'm going to position them kind of behind this hibiscus. And again, so they're hanging off the page. And again, I'm going to go position to back. And when I click away, they've gone to the back. Okay. Now, when I did my original one, I just put all my hibiscus flowers on the page. Then I put all the leaves individually behind each flower. Then I added in all these like splashes, and then I added dots and things in, which I'm going to get on and show you in a few minutes. But just to try and save some time, I'm just going to do it this way. So again, I'm going to select the leaves. I'm going to right click and duplicate them. I'm going to put this one up here, rotate it. If I want to resize them, I can resize them. And again, I'm going to say centre back, so it goes behind this one. And then this one, I'm going to leave without any leaves for now. So now I've got this kind of little group going on, if you like. I'm going to come back to the elements, and in search, I want some dots. So let's try 3 dots as Alison asked about, and say enter. Again, it's brought up graphics because that's what I want, and I'm going to say see all. But as you can see, it still brings up some of the pro options. So I'm going to scroll through, and I think it was this one I used, this kind of group of white dots. So I'm going to left click so they come onto my page. And again, they come in, these are have come in as black. So I'm going to click on the colour swatch, and I think I made them a kind of brownie. Oh, I did some green and I did some in like a beigey colour. So let's see what we can get. So I'm going to come, there's kind of like no real brown in here, but if I click orange and then go to add new, it will bring me to the oranges. So now I can drag this dot down and you should be able to see, look, as I'm moving it from orange, the changing colours. So I'm going to stick with these brown dots for now. I'm going to make them smaller and I'm going to start just dropping them into position. But again, I don't want them necessarily on top of the flowers all the time. I want them behind. So with them selected, I'm going to say position and to back. And when I zoom in now, hopefully you'll see that they're behind the hibiscus. So I'm going to select them again and duplicate them, and I'm just going to kind of keep dropping them. I'm going to size them down and just kind of fill in the spaces, and then I can keep duplicating them. The duplicates drop down here off the page because I'm zoomed in. I'm going to put one in there, and then let me zoom back out so we can see the page properly. And then I'm going to select them, or one of them, duplicate them, and just going to make it bigger so you can see it. Then I'm going to come to the colour swatch. I'm going to come to the greens. I'm going to say new colour, and this time I'm going to choose a different green to what I've got on the screen already. And if I'm happy with that, I can resize these down, and then I can start dropping these in places. So again, if I select one and duplicate it and bring it down here so it hangs off the page. So is everybody with me so far? Because I can't see any comments. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to left click off the page and drag an imaginary box around everything. I'm going to group it and I'm going to duplicate it. And that gives me a duplicate now of what I've got. So what I can do with this now is get the rotate handle, rotate it and kind of position it on a different part of the page. Then I can duplicate it again and I can just kind of fill in and keep duplicating and filling in and rotating. And you know, if you rotate them, you'll get them at different angles. Now I'm going to ungroup this one because I don't like these two sets of dots being this close to each other, so I'm going to move that one. So Jill's saying yes, still with me. And then I'm going to rotate this one at the top a bit, like so. It doesn't matter that you've got things hanging off this A4 page because, thanks Alison, because when you save it and download it, it will print as it's showing here on the white page. Obviously can't print anything off your page, can it? It can only print on your A4 piece of paper. So again, I'm going to select another one. If you don't get, because I've grouped them, you don't always get the plus option, you know, that says duplicate. So if you right click, then you'll get the duplicate option. And then if I want to, I can, you know, put one up there in the corner. I can select another one. I can put it down here. I can use the rotate. I can make it smaller if I want. So can you see it's like beginning to fill in all the spaces now on the page. I might drag this one up and make it bigger again and ungroup it and just move them around. So let's take that one back to nearer its original size. So I'm going to ungroup this cluster, click anywhere off the page to hopefully deselect, and then I'm going to start dragging these around. And it, you know, it doesn't matter if you've got leaves overlapping the dots, it just makes it look, you know, more realistic. you know, fill in your spaces. I'm going to move that one up there. But if you look at something, like I'm not particularly happy with how this one's looking, I'm going to move this one out of the way, and then I'm going to select the dots and duplicate them and just kind of fill in. And then what I did with mine, I'm just going to move some of these elements around. I added in some hearts. So again, if we go to the top of the page, I'm still on elements. I'm going to go to hearts and enter. And then again under graphics, I'm going to say see all. And the one that I used was this one, the little group of 4. So again, I'm going to select it and it drops on the screen. I'm going to size it down to how I want it. And I'm just going to, you know, rotate it and make it fit within the gaps. And again, I made the hearts brown, I think. So again, I'm going to come to the colour swatch. Because I've just used brown in the dots, the brown colour swatch is already there. So when I select it, it makes the hearts brown. I'm going to duplicate them and literally just start filling in spaces with the hearts. I'm going to move these dots down a bit, move this one over, duplicate the hearts again, have some going off the page. And again, if you want the hearts to be on top, then like, can you see here where let me just try and zoom in and move over. So can you see these brown hearts here? They're on top of the leaf. I'm fine with that, because if you were making this using, say, background stamps, certain things would overlap other things. Obviously that is determined by if you mask things off or what, you know, in the order that you stamp stuff. So, you know, you can send things behind, you can have things in front. So like these green dots here, if I wanted them behind the leaves, I would select the dots, I would say position, and it would say backwards, and it would keep clicking backwards or back until they go behind the leaf, as they've done there. So let me zoom back out so you can see like the full A4 page. And then literally I would just keep, you know, duplicating elements and dropping them in. And, you know, if you want more of the brown dots, right click and duplicate if you don't get the, no, I don't want all them, they're all grouped, aren't they? So let's undo that. So let's click on this and ungroup, and then click anywhere to deselect, and I just want the brown dots. So I'm going to duplicate, and again, you know, I might want some brown dots down here hanging off the page. I'm going to select the green ones. I might want some of them down here hanging off in the corner. I'm going to duplicate them again, put some down here, and I'm kind of just filling in the spaces. And again, you know, if you want to make something bigger to fill up more of a space, or you want to rotate it, you can do. And again, if I want to position this behind the hibiscus, I just go to position and say center back, and it's gone right to the back. And I think they're all the elements that are used. Oh no, there's more. So hang on. So if we go back to upload and upload files, go back to desktop and go to heart flowers this time, I think it was. Double click on the SVG file, and then I used this one here. It's 8 leaves floral. I think that's the one I used. So again, I'm going to select it. I'm going to say upload. It's going to upload over here. Once it's selected, I can click it and it'll drop onto the page. And then again, I can resize it, and I can, you know, rotate it and I can change the colour of it. So again, I'm going to come to the colour swatch, and let's see what we can do. Let's choose another colour. Let's go to the colour wheel. Click in the oranges again. I'll just kind of make it a different shade of brown, and the colours appeared here, so it's kind of like a russet brown. I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm just going to kind of fill in again with this one. Now that it's duplicated it, but you have to watch where it puts it, because sometimes it puts them in odd places. So I'm going to rotate, I'm going to duplicate. I can flip it if I want rather than rotate it, so I can flip it horizontally or vertically. Speaking from all of us, we've missed you. As always, we learn so much from your expertise, and you give us our mojo back. Oh, thank you. I'm no expert on Canva. I literally just play. Basically the same with the scan and cut, really. I just play. I'm going to duplicate this one again, and it's put this one off the page. So now for this one, I'm going to drag it up the top, and I'm going to rotate it so it's kind of like hanging off the top of the page. You kind of want balance, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You want, you can basically just plop things anywhere, but you kind of want your thing to look balanced. So like I've got a lot of the leaves over here, but not many over here. So I'm going to select this one, duplicate it, and I'm going to pop one in up here. And I'm not bothered if it overlaps any of the other designs. I'm going to duplicate that one again. I'll flip it. Let's do flip vertically and just pop that one in there. And then what I did with my other one was I then went back and I chose like some of the hibiscus and I made them smaller, and you know, just kind of chose just a few random ones and just made them a little bit smaller, so it didn't all look, you know, as if it was completely uniform. So this one I've got to ungroup, click anywhere to deselect, select my hibiscus, shrink it down and kind of put it in there, and then I'm just going to move the leaves again. So you can see I'm kind of beginning to fill up spaces. I could move those dots there and these dots here, and then put that leaf in there. Once you start resizing and moving stuff around, you know, you might have to move some of your other elements, but at least you've got them on the page, and then you can choose whether you want to, you know, move them or resize them or do whatever you want to do with them. And then let's see, I think you can, let me just have a look at position. Yeah, so if you come to position, where I've just been using to back or backwards, if you click on layers, it will show you all the different elements that you've got on your page. So once you start getting a lot of things on your page, so like I'll just ungroup this section. If you go to click on, say like I want this blue bit here, but I keep getting the hearts. If I go, I'll click on the hearts, but I say I want the blue, this blue bit here. I'll go to position, go to layers, and then I can scroll through here and look for the blue hearts, not hearts, the blue water splashes, and I can select one and it will highlight it on the page. So like this one here now, if I want to make that a bit bigger and move it, then if I look for another one, it's chosen this one down here, so I could move that. Then if I look for another one, it's chosen this. So if I keep scrolling through, choose that one, it's chosen this one down here, click on this one. I would eventually get to the one that I wanted. See, now it's here. So see this one here, so if I want to make this a bit bigger, but you kind of only really need to use the layers if you've got lots of elements on your screen and you're struggling to get hold of things, like I'm trying to get this blue, those blue splashes, but I kept getting those hearts then. So it's just, you know, so you know how to find stuff. So again, you'd go to position, and then usually it's on arrange, and this is like the default where you can bring things to the front or the back, or you can align stuff. But like I say, if you go to layers, and because we're using SVG images, these are all coming in as individual images. So it's like when you use Canvas Workspace for computer, you know how you can use the layers. It's the same kind of principle. So again, like I say, you know, I would just start, you know, jiggling things around a bit, you know, maybe adjust some of the sizes. If I want to adjust the size of the leaves, in, you know, to kind of match. If I shrink a flower down, I can then click on those and adjust those. And I think they're kind of all the elements I use. So basically, I think just these dots and the little mini hearts were elements that are already in Canva. And a lot of the other elements were free elements that I got from Creative Fabrica, and I, you know, chose to use the SVG elements. And by using the SVG elements, it enables me to change the colours, which, you know, if you want to kind of create your own background papers or a background design, you want to be able to, you know, have the colours that you want to use. And then from here, when I showed you last week when I was doing the calibration, what I did from here is, if you look at the bottom of the page here, it says add page. And if I click on add page, it will add a second page to this canvas, if you like, and it will bring it on at the size I created. So my 11.75 by 8.25. So if I click add page, it brings me another blank page. And then if I come up to this one and I click on a hibiscus and I say duplicate, I can drag that duplicate down to the second page. And that's how I did what I showed you last week when I had a background page and I had elements that I was using to calibrate the machine. So if I just wanted to cut, you know, a bunch of these hibiscus out, I could create a second page, and I could just keep, you know, duplicating these and lining them up on this blank page. And if I wanted, you know, to duplicate the leaves, I could duplicate the leaf and drag it down here, and I could say duplicate and put it there. And then when you position one and you click that second one that you've positioned and you click duplicate, it will then kind of put it in a row for you. So I've got this third one selected. If I select duplicate, can you see it's adding them in a row? So you don't have to kind of like arrange them and line them up and everything. And then obviously if you were going to cut something like this in with your scan and cut machine, you'd have to do the trick that I showed you last week and just put pencil lines, just joining these gaps up so that you then get an outline. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back to the YouTube playlist, go to live and look for last week's live stream. So from here now, this document, if you like, is 2 pages. So the way to save is you go up to the top of the page where it says file. It will say untitled design, and it says 11.75 by 8.25 because that's the size of the canvas that I made. You click on the pencil, and then in here I would put Hibiscus background. Don't click enter, click save, and that will then save it into your designs, and I'll go back and I'll show you in a minute. And then from here you would go to share, you would come down to download, and then if I'm wanting to print things like this for background or for using for the scan and cut, where it says file type, it automatically comes up as PNG suggested. I click on the down arrow and I come down here and I use PDF print, because underneath it says best for printing. So I click on PDF print, and then before I click download, can you see here it says select pages? By default it will automatically from memory select the amount of pages you've created on this project, if you like. So I created 2 pages, didn't I? You know, the background and then these elements. So it's wanting to print both pages. If I want to print both pages, I just click download it to my computer, and then I print it. But if I only wanted the background and I didn't want to use these elements this time round, let's say, I would click on the arrow next to where it says all pages, and it shows you a thumbnail of what you've got. You can see at the moment it says all pages is selected, and it's showing the background and the elements, if you like. If I untick the box that says all pages, it unticks everything. And if I just wanted to print the background page, I would select that page only, choose done, choose download, and that one page will download to my downloads folder on my computer. So if I now go to my downloads folder, that printable is here. It's called Hibiscus PDF. So if I just drag it onto my page, onto my desktop, and then double click to open it, it will just open in my Finder window. Now for some reason it's made all my flowers black, and that doesn't normally happen. So let me go back and see why. That's never happened to me before. So let's go share, download, PDF print, page 1. Let me just try it again and see. It's never done that to me before as far as I'm aware. Download. Oh, hang on, colour profile. Best for digital use. Let's leave that as that. I'm not sure. I don't normally touch anything down there. I'm just going to download it again and see if it comes in as colour. And if not, I don't know why, and we'll try printing all the document. No, it's come in as black again. So I'm going to say keep both. I'm going to get rid of both of them. I'm going to put them in the trash. And then I'm going to go back to share. I'm going to go download. I'm going to say all this time and see what happens. Select all. I'm going to do PDF again and download. Now this has never ever happened to me before, so I don't know if it's a glitch or if I've changed a setting. No, it's bringing them in as black, and they shouldn't be black. So let me come back. Let's try and work out what's going on. Let's go download. Let's try PDF standard download. What's Alison saying? I can still add Creative Fabrica save folders to this. I think you can. I think you can. I don't know that you can drag the whole folder in, or if you drag elements in, but we can try it and see. Is that downloaded now? No, it's still bringing them in as black and white, and I don't know why. Let's go download. Let's try PNG suggested and see what happens. But usually I use PDF printable, not PNG. So that one's come in as an image and it has brought it in as colour. But usually, as I say, I go to share, I go to download, and then I change this. I thought it was PDF print because it says best for printing, but it didn't work on either of those, so I'm not sure why. But it should download them in colour, not in black and white. So whether Canva is just having a moment or not, I don't know. Because obviously you saw the printable that I'd printed that I showed you last week. So let's just try what Alison said. So let's go upload to desktop and let's go to Hibiscus flower. And I'll just choose the whole folder this time rather than opening it. In fact, no, because I don't want all those in my canvas. Let me double click it. Sorry, I don't want them all in Canva. I'm going to choose the SVG folder and click upload. And it's asking me to choose the designs. So it won't let me upload that folder as it is by the look of it. No, but you can drag them all in. So like, let's just say, I'm just going to resave this again, file save. And because I've already saved it once with its name, when I do file save, it just saves it again with that same name. So let's go to home. So if you'd created this and then you close Canva down, your design that because you saved it and gave it a name will show up when you're on the home page. It will show up under your recent design. So can you see here it says Hibiscus background? That's what I named it. So this is where all your things will show up. So let's just go to custom size and I'll just choose this again. So I've got a new blank page. Let me just get rid of this off my desktop. So if I go to the Hibiscus folder that's on my desktop and double click it, and then I double click the SVG, what you can also do is, I'll choose this one because I've not used this before. You can drag and drop it, and when you drop it here, it will upload it here. So you don't always have to go to to be on uploads and upload file and look. You can drag and drop and it will appear in here as well. So let's change the colour of that to pink. Let's close that down. Let's do share, download, PDF print, download. Go to my downloads folder. See, now that it's worked this time, because look, if I double click on it, it's pink. So I think it's just something that was going on with that background that I created. So it does work. So you go to share, you go to download, you change it from PNG to PDF printable, which gives you the best, should give you the best print quality. And then, you choose whether you want to print 1 page or 2 pages or however many pages. you've created. So let's just go back to home and back to my, and I don't know why these are all black, because they should all be pink, but anyway, hey ho, it's just like Alison's just said, it's just another live. If I change them all to pink, let me just change a few of them to pink and see what happens. We'll go share, download, PDF print, download, and see what happens. But as I say, it does work because I showed you the printable last week, but I just don't know what's going on with tonight's live. So let me go to my downloads folder, and this time they've come in pink. So it must have just been a glitch. Look, the ones I've just changed are pink. So it must just be a little glitch or something. So that was how I created the printable. And so let's just select all these hibiscus. And change these to the pink. So that was how I created what you saw last week, which was the background, which I've still not used yet, and the elements which I was using to do the calibration on my machine. Now again, when you've got things like this, elements, if you want them all lined up, just drag like an imaginary box through them all, and you can go to position and say tidy up, and it will kind of put them all in a row for you, and then you can, you know, drag them up and fit them better on your page. So there's lots of things that you can do in Canva, things I've not even scratched the surface with. As I say, I know I've got a Canva playlist, and I know I've, you know, done things in Canva with you before on my YouTube lives, but I tend to use it for like creating thumbnails and creating, you know, images for my blog posts and things like that. But you can do so much more with it. So has anybody got any questions while I just have a drink of my water, because I've been on just over an hour again now. Does anybody want me to show them anything else or try anything else before we go? I'd missed that comment earlier, so Alison has said that she'd signed up for a monthly creative fabrica, and she's been using craft artists to make toppers and backgrounds. This looks great as it's already there to search for. Yeah, there's loads of stuff in the you know, in the elements section. There's absolutely tons and tons and tons of stuff. I've shown how to use the frames before, where you can, you know, add a shape on and then you can drop something into it. So let's just say add a page onto here to add a third page on. So let's click see all on the frames. So if I want to drag this shape in and make it bigger, I can then come over to my uploads and let's see what we've got that'll fill that shape better. Don't know if these will work, but let's see. If I want to click on this and I drag it into that shape. Now this has got a white background, so you're not going to see that, so that's no good. So let's undo, delete that. I've deleted the wrong one now, so just give me a minute. Let's go back to, where was I? Elements, frames, make it bigger, and then let's come to my uploads. Let's try and find some background paper. So if I drag this and drop that onto that shape, this background paper that again is free as part of Creative Fabrica membership has now dropped into that shape. And I've just seen someone saying Eddie's fine, thank you, is adorable. Jill, can photos be uploaded to Canva? Yes, of course. You just click upload. I've got photos of Eddie, I think, in here. Hang on. There's one of the little rascal with his bandana on. I put photographs of, like I say, I use this mainly for my YouTube banners. So when I've created a project, I take a photograph of it, or if it's something I'm doing on the screen, I'll take a screen share of something I'm doing in Canvas. Or like when I used to make cards and things. Let me see if I can scroll down and find. I upload all my photos into here, and that's how I make, like, that was a project I did for a YouTube video, and that's just dropped into that shape. If I click it, you'll see that's how I brought the photograph in. But if I delete it, but because I've put this frame shape on here, it drops into that shape. Like here's another one. So if I just drag this one in, that's the video making shapes from shapes. So yeah, you can add photographs in, you can add all sorts of things in it. What's Alison saying? The second time you had it selected. So if I delete that and I'm back to my frame, here's my cushion I did. That was another video, a vinyl video I did a while ago. I don't know if it's on my channel now or if it, yeah, I think it's gone live, that one. But you don't have to put them in shapes. Let's get rid of that. So if I just wanted, let's try and find Eddie again. Jim says hi. How is he, by the way? I forgot to ask earlier. Let me just try and find my little rascal again. I can't find him now, can I? Know I want him. I'm just scrolling through. These are all images, so let me click on Eddie. I can just drop him onto this page, and if I wanted to fill up a page, I can fill a whole page with him, and then I could download this and I could print it. So it can be used for anything. As I say, a lot of these things that are in here are things that are in future videos. So, I've uploaded a lot of elements, the things that are, coming up in videos, or things that I want to use for future projects. So yeah, you can upload all sorts. It doesn't have to be SVGs, it can be JPEGs, it can be PNGs, it can be, anything at all you can load into here. All sorts of things. Or you can click on elements and use elements. So if you wanted a photograph of something specific, if you come to elements and you come to photographs, you can click see all, and then you can use some of their photographs. Or if you wanted, say, a photograph of a rabbit, if you type rabbit in the search box, it will bring up all the rabbits, and again, some will have the crown, so just the pro things, but there'll be lots of free ones. So if I wanted this rabbit and I wanted to fill up an A4 page with this adorable rabbit, I could just drag that in and, you know, resize it. Again, you don't have to start off with an A4 page. Quite a lot of the time when I'm making a blog post, I'll come to custom size and I'll come to inches and I'll choose 5 by 5 and say create design, excuse me, and then I've got a 5 by 5 design. Or if you wanted, let's go back to home, and let's say 4 wide, change it to inches first, 4 wide and 6 high, so 4 by 6, create design. And then let me go to my uploads. I'm just trying to read comments and look for things as well. Thankfully we can say we're fine and dandy, brilliant. That's good to know. Because you were both having a bit of a time of it last time. I was doing my regular YouTube lives. Let me try and find my little rascal again. Alison's saying he's gorgeous. He is gorgeous. He's very, very good. He's a character. He's a proper little character. Let me see if I can find him. There he is. So if I drag this on, so let me just get rid of that again. So if you drag and drop it like so, it'll fill the whole page. And then if I delete him, if you click, it'll just come in like this, and then you can drag and resize. But sometimes if you kind of hold it up into the top, it will fill the page. So you can either drag it up and kind of position him like so, or select him and delete him and then drag and hover over, and it will fill it completely with, you know, how the image looked over here, if that makes sense. That's his little bandana that I made from ages ago, Free Kisses. I think he went to get his hair cut with that on. Oh, the rabbit. Yeah, the rabbit was cute, wasn't it? But like I say, there's loads of stuff if you look in the elements. And it's, like I said, it's not just, you know, shapes and stuff. There are photographs, there's stickers, there's videos. So depending on what you were wanting to use it for, a lot of bloggers use Canva because they can create, you know, a lot of thumbnails, or they can create a lot of like posters, or you know, like PowerPoint type documents. So there's loads and loads and loads of elements, and then obviously it will show you, when you click on elements, it'll show anything you've recently used. You can expand it by saying see all, and then you can scroll down to things that you've looked at. There are some kind of like shortcut things as well along the top, and you can click on the arrow and you can, you know, look for stuff this way. I tend to type stuff in the box to look for it, but like say you wanted an arrow, you click on arrows and it'll bring arrows up, and again it'll bring them up as shapes, it'll bring them up as photographs, as videos, as frames, you know. So if you wanted to put a photograph in a specific style frame, you could do that as well. So I'm just going to get another drink. Eddie's on the move now. I don't know if you can hear him. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's just stood wagging his tail looking at me. He was having a nap. So has anybody got any other questions or anything that you want me to just go over? Invitations, yeah. Again, Alison, if you go to the home page, up at the top here in the search box, if you type invitations and hit enter, it will bring it. Well, it says there's 31,513 templates. So it will bring up, you can create a blank one, or you can choose any of the ones that are in here, unless obviously they've got the pro element on. And again, if you want to use one of the pro elements, you can select it and you can, you know, amend and alter and all that, all the elements, but before you went to download it to your computer, it would tell you you'd have to pay for it. But there's loads like this one here. If I click on this, that's the one I've just chosen, and it says customize this template. So if I select that, it will drop this then into a new Canva page for me. And then if you hover over, you'll see all these elements are all individual. So if you want to choose this and replace it with something that you find, you know, over here, you can do. Now this is an image. Can you see it says here edit photo? There's no colour swatch. That's just like border designs. So before, when we were bringing in SVGs, we had a colour swatch, didn't we, that we could change the colour. You know, and I said to you, sometimes it says image or something else. The something else I was trying to think of was edit photo. So you can select it, you could duplicate it, and you can rotate it and have it in the opposite corner. But you can't always change the colour because these are images that are used. So let me just delete that. But you can change the text and things like that. So this says together with their family. If I double click that, up here you'll see it says text and there's a colour swatch underneath it. If I click that, it's showing you the colours that are being used within this you know, this design. If I wanted to change that text to bright pink, if I select pink from my, you know, my colour options, when I click off, you'll see it's pink. What about copyright and angel policies? So if you go to home, I think it is, and it's in here somewhere about the copyright. I think basically you can use everything. Let's go to this one again. And this is called Green Watercolour Wedding Invitation Portrait. And let me close that one down because I've got loads of windows open now. So let's come back to here. So it tells you who it's by. It says high quality eco-friendly printing is available. So you can have things printed for you from Canva if you don't want to do them yourself. You can star the design. If you click on the 3 dots, you can share it. You could report it if it was something that you felt was inappropriate. But Canva, I've always found, is pretty good like that. So let's go back to Canva and let's clear the search. There is somewhere in here that tells you about copyright because I remember reading it, but I'm sure. Let's see if you go to Learn Help Centre. Let's go Learn Help Centre. Let's type in copyright and enter. So it says that Canva content can be either free or pro. You can use free content at no cost. As the name suggests, our free and pro content licenses cover all the content we offer, from photos, icons, illustrations to video, audio, fonts and templates. Watch the video below or read on to learn more. So everything about copyright is here for you. But there's absolutely loads of stuff. Like I say, there's tons and tons of stuff. Documents, if you click on documents, it'll bring up millions of different documents, you know, for you to choose from. If you want to do anything with social media, there's like Instagram square templates, Facebook landscape templates, Instagram stories, WhatsApp, Facebook covers, Instagram reels, TikToks. There's absolutely loads and loads and loads of stuff. If you want to make presentations, if we look on presentations, see all, it will bring up, it says there's 14,719 templates of presentations. There's absolutely everything you can possibly think of. So like in the past, you know, if I've ever done like, if I was ever doing giveaways, or if I was doing workshops and that kind of thing, I would sometimes grab a presentation from here. Let's say, let's just choose this one for instance, and click customize, and I would, you know, make this my own once I got it on screen. So, you know, if I was having a giveaway or something like that, you can see these are all elements, so you can't change the colours, because when you click on it, there's no colour swatch and it says edit photo. Excuse me, but when you click on it, you'll see that these are all different elements. So if I didn't like this particular flower down here, I could choose something else. Or if I liked that kind of wash colour background, but I didn't like this font, I could double click the text. I could come up, it's called Twister. I could come up and click the arrow, and then all the fonts that are available for free are all in here. Again, if there's a font that's a pro font, you can use it and see what it looked like. And if you think you're going to like it and you want to use it, you know, over and over again, you could buy it. So let's just say if I chose that one, it says I can use it, I can try it for free for 30 days, but I don't want to. So let's choose a free one. Let's try and look for something. There's loads in here. There's you know, you think you've got to the end and you've not. There's loads, absolutely, there's tons of them. Let's try Aprilla. So that's how that looks. And if I want to change the text, so if I was making this, I don't know, if I was, say, putting this at the end of a video as a thank you, I could put thank you. If I can spell, I would put thank you. Please like, share and subscribe. And then I can drag it out. I can move it. I can make the text bigger or smaller. I can change the colour of the text because it's text. So again, if I want to use, you know, my deep pink that I use a lot on my website, I can do that. If I, you know, if I don't want this, but I presume this is who's made this template, Borselli, is it? Borselli Studio. If I wanted to put my Apple Lover 53 there, I could. If I didn't want anything there, I could send that element to the bin. And then again, if I wanted to save this, I would go File. You can see it's called Pink Rose Watercolour. If I wanted to change that to something that, you know, means something more to me, I could put, you know, please like, share, etc. and save. And then when I go home and go to recent designs, it will show up here. And if, you know, if I like this invitation, if I didn't want to keep this in my recents, if I click on the 3 dots, I can say move to trash, so I can get rid of it. You know, like I probably wouldn't want to keep that, so I'll just move that to trash. Because sometimes you find that you end up, you know, if you're playing around in Canva, you end up with all sorts of stuff that you don't necessarily want to keep, and it clogs up your, you know, your recents. You know, sometimes I play around with stuff and I save it, and then I think, why did I save that? Like I've got a blank page, I think, there, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And then you can just go through and, you know, get rid of stuff. So, so Jill's saying, thanks, I'll have a read through. Alison says, this opens up a new world, thank you. So like I say, there's loads and loads and loads of stuff you can do with it, and I've not touched the surface. Something else I found the other day, let me just go to, let's just go back to this blank page with Eddie on and take Eddie out And down here under apps, there was an app in here. Let me click on your apps because I've downloaded it. So in Discover, there was an app in here. I'm trying to see if I can, I don't know if it will show up now. It just appeared in this featured session when I clicked on apps the other day. But because I've used it, I think it's put it in my app. So if I click on this, it's called Typecraft. And then you'll see it says here, text Typecraft, and that's what's showing down here. So if I type hello in capital letters, you'll now see the hello's changed down here. And if I click on font, and let's just find a better font. Now, not all the fonts that appear in Canva are in this, because this is an app that's in addition to Canva, okay? So let's choose Ebony. And then when I come down to the window, can you see it's got all these circles on it? I can drag and shape like so. And then at the bottom, can you see it says add element to design? If I select that, it pops it on my page. So if I drag this out, you'll see there is this hello that I've just manipulated. So there's, you know, you can kind of do stuff like that, but as I say, because this is an app, under font, the fonts are limited. You know, there's a lot of fonts in here. Look, if you keep scrolling, there's a lot, but I don't think it's all the fonts that are within this text. And I don't think, let's click heading. I don't think you can manipulate them. So if I choose, let's say, let's double click on this to select it and say test and enter. And then let's choose a font that's from within here, just a random font, and make it bigger. I don't think it will appear in this app window. I think you, as I say, you have to use the fonts with this app that are within that app, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's something else. Like I say, there's all sorts of things. I only clicked on apps the other day. I'd never really looked at it before. But again, as I say, if you click on apps and discover, it says like featured apps, and it's got trending apps. And it says more from Canva, access even more content to create amazing designs. There's just all sorts. Create something new. And there's all this stuff in here that I've not even looked at. So yeah, it is incredible. You know, it could go on and on and on. You could spend literally hours and days and weeks just playing with all the different things that, you know, are in here. But I tend to keep to elements, text, and uploads. And then, you know, if you draw and you're good at drawing, you know, you've got the usual draw tools that, you know, you'd get like, you know, in your notes section on your phone or your iPad or in, you know, Microsoft Word or whatever. And if you click one, you'll see you get the pencil, and, you know, you can draw. But I don't use that. I just, as I say, stick with elements, uploads, and text. And again, if I delete these, You know, there's all the different text in here that you can use that's like ready-made for you. So let's find one. So like if you wanted to have a kind of a design, something like this, if you click this, you can see that birthday and girl are two separate elements. And if you kind of liked the design but you didn't necessarily like the colour, like I don't particularly like that neon yellowy green, if you select it, you'll see up here text, it shows you the colour, and then you could go to your colour wheel and you could, you know, say go into the blues and you could change it to blue. You're still keeping the style that you've chosen over here, but you're changing the colours, and this has got like if I click on it, it's got an effect on it. So if you go to effects, you can see it's got like a neon effect, but you could have, let's choose, you could have an outline put on it, you could have a shadow put on it. You know, there's all sorts of stuff that you know, you could literally, as I say, spend hours upon hours playing with. So Alison's saying, washing and ironing out the window, Canva, here we come. You're welcome. But like I say, just going back to what I wanted to show you tonight, it was how I made, you know, the background paper that I'd shown you last week. So there's all sorts of things you can do with it. And, you know, as a paper crafter, if you've got access to, you know, a bigger format printer, so, you know, let's say you've got an A3 printer, when you go home, custom size, you could put the sizes in of an A3 printer and make that same, you know, type of background that I've shown you how to do here, but on A3, and you could print that out, and then you could use, you know, a scan and cut file. Or I was thinking what I might do is maybe print 2 of these. So this page here that you can see on screen, print 2 of these, and then, you know, that gable box that I made it's a cutting file of mine. I think it's the one I was putting together in the video that was telling everybody I'd left Stampin' Up. I was thinking if I cut one section on one piece of paper and one on the other and made them as big as I could to fill up the page, I could make that gable box bigger, because that gable box was in 2 pieces and both pieces were identical. So if you resized one of them as big as you can to fit on, say, A4, and sent that to your scan and cut machine, and once you'd printed this, load this A4 piece of paper or card onto your mat and drag your first part of it as big as you can and cut it, and then load your second piece and cut it again, and then glue it together, and you'd have a big, you know, bigger gift box made from your own background papers, or any of your designs really. Hi Lynn, first notification I've seen for ages, hope you're well. I'm fine, thank you. I did a quick live last Sunday and I said I'd come on and show how I created this background in Canva, but I'm busy tomorrow, so as I wasn't really doing much tonight, I just thought I'd pop on. So I came on at my usual time, about 5 to 5. And I did schedule a post to go live at 5, and I did notice that when I came to, before I hit the live button, it said people were waiting. So obviously I'm assuming some people must have got a notification to say that I'd scheduled a live or something. Don't know if that's right, but it did say people were waiting before I'd even pressed the live button. Anyway, I hope you're okay, Lynn. So yeah, so that was how I made it. I say that was another, you know, quick live. This video, if you've, you know, come in late, or you've come in halfway through or whatever, or you're catching it up at a later time, it will stay in the live playlist on my YouTube channel. But because it's a Canva tutorial, I will also add it to my Canva playlist as well. And then that way, if anybody wants to go back and look back through the Canva playlist, all the other videos will be there along with this one. So has anybody got any questions or anything before I go? Because I have been on now for about an hour and 40 minutes. And Eddie will no doubt be wanting to have a run around in his garden. He thinks it's his garden, by the way. But I can't see any more comments or anything coming through. But I will kind of hang on for a few more minutes just in case anybody has got any other questions or anything they want to ask. I can see that there are quite a few people watching, but not all the names are showing up. So if you are new by any chance, this is my website, which will appear on your screen in a minute. It's www.applelover53.co.uk, and on there you'll find all my cutting files. You'll find links under the scan and cut tab for like help and information with regards to your scan and cut machines. You'll find links to this YouTube channel. The blog is on there with, you know, all recent projects. I did a sewing project the other day for anybody that has an embroidery machine that might be on here. I did my very first edge-to-edge quilting the other day. I made some cushions. I bought a design from Designs by Juju, and I thought I'd have a go, and I made myself 2 new cushion covers. I didn't video what I was doing, but I did make a kind of maybe 10 or 15 second video of the machine doing the edge-to-edge quilting, and I did blog about it, and you'll see the little video of how the edge-to-edge quilting was working, and I showed you the back of my project where you could see it, how it all lines up together better on the white batting. And I did take a photograph of the 2 cushions, and they're all in the blog post. So that wasn't a YouTube video, it was just a blog post I posted the other day. So if you subscribe to my blog as well, you know, you'll get notifications when because from time to time I do just put things on my blog. I don't necessarily video everything. So Alison's saying lovely to have you back. Jill's saying this has been great, thank you. I shall go and find the playlist now. So yeah, so as I say, once you're on my YouTube channel, if you click on the homepage of my channel, underneath, I think it's the header picture, you'll see it'll say things like videos, live, playlists. And if you click on the lives, everything that's been alive will be under the live. If you click on playlist, it will bring all my playlists up. So I've got like a playlist for Canva, I've got a playlist for Canvas Workspace for computer, a Canvas Workspace for online, I've got a scan and cut machine only playlist, I've got a sewing embroidery playlist. They're all in there, and the Canva playlist is in there as well. So Karen's saying thank you, we'll watch out for more live notifications. I'm not sure whether you have to, you might have to be subscribed with all notifications turned on YouTube, so you know when I go live. But if you go to my actual website, let me just close some of these windows down. And if I go to my website, if you go to my actual website, which should load in a minute, I'm just going to close a lot of these windows down because I've got loads of Canva windows open now that I don't need. Let's just get rid of some of these. So if you see where it says blog, there's the link to the blog and the forum. People do still use the forum from time to time. The forum was more for when I'd been doing my regular lives, and if anybody had a question specifically relating to the live, they could kind of post it in the forum. But if you go to blog, which is the thing that, you know, is used the most. It's used for all my weekly videos. This little pop-out box will pop out saying that, because somebody thought that they had to pay to use my blog. Somebody left a comment or messaged me within the last month or so saying, why do I have to pay to see your content? And you don't. So I've changed this up here so it says all the information on my website and blog is free. If you would like to be kept up to date with news and projects, subscribe here. And basically all you have to do is put your email, your first and last name. I just ask where you are in the world, just so I know where people are following me from. I don't break it down. I don't expect someone to put every single country in. So I basically, you know, you tick UK or you tick elsewhere, and if you're elsewhere, I just, you know, people generally put like Canada or California or whatever. So you can, you know, you can subscribe to my blog, and that way when I post, like this was the, there it was, the edge to edge quilting, that was my cushions I made. So they were all scraps of fabric I've had piled up in a plastic bag literally for years. You know, if you look back through my blog, you'll see a lot of previous projects made with a lot of these bits of fabric. And basically I just wanted to do some sewing last week. I pulled them all out. They were all different lengths and widths, and whatever the length was, I cut them all into 3-inch strips, and I literally sewed them all together. The blog post will tell you how I did it, and there's a little video, as I say, on here. They're my cushions with all the edge to edge quilting, and all this explains how I did it. And there's a little, it's literally seconds video showing how the edge to edge design works. And then because you can't necessarily see it that great on all the coloured pieces of fabric, at the end of this little video it shows you the back of this project, which was the white batting, and you'll see how the edge to edge designs work. So yeah, so that's it. So excuse me, so I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover for tonight. So unless anybody has got any last minute questions, if you just ask it, type it quickly in the you know, the live chat box, and I'll answer it. But if not, I'm going to call it a day and say good night, and I'm going to go and take Eddie in the garden and have a play and sit down and see if I can either see if there's anything exciting on the TV, which I never watch, but I've been watching the athletics all last week from Budapest, and this afternoon I watched the Diamond League from China. So I'm going to go and have a look and see if there's anything exciting on the TV. But as I say, I don't normally watch TV, but I might go and have a look and see if there's anything on YouTube. So if that's everything and nobody's got any last minute questions, I'm going to say goodbye. Once I've ended this live stream, if you have got any questions that you thought about afterwards, if you go and find, you know, this live on YouTube, go to the description, you can, you know, ask me a question in the comments and I'll reply to it. If there's anything else you'd like to see in Canva or anything else you'd like to see elsewhere, just let me know. I've got loads of videos already pre-scheduled, and I think I've got another Canva video. I'm just having a look through I've got print and cut videos coming up, and I've got a print and cut video, how to make a shaped card from a printed image, but they're not necessarily using the print and cut feature, so anybody can use them. So there's loads of things scheduled already on my channel, you know, quite a bit of variety. And I think there's maybe another back to basics or something like that. I can't remember. I know I've got things scheduled, I think, right through to about October. So, you know, there's loads of things coming. So make sure you're subscribed, as I say, to my YouTube channel and to my blog, and you won't miss out, hopefully. Right, so Alison, yes, thank you yet again. Don't forget everyone to hit the thumbs up. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, please, if you don't mind, would you just, you know, hit that like button, or the dislike button. It doesn't matter. All interaction is welcome by YouTube. And I'll say good night and hopefully see you again in another live at some point covering something else. But like I say, there's loads of videos scheduled, you know, for my weekly Tuesday. What was that? Oh, there was something on my balcony. You know, there's lots of things scheduled for my regular Tuesday morning video slot. I don't use Procreate, no, I don't. As I'm getting older, I'm finding that the space in my mind is getting shorter and smaller. And I literally don't have the headspace for, you know, trying to learn other things. I think that's another reason why I've not learned to digitize embroidery designs. I just kind of tend to stick to the things that I know or I know a little about. So, you know, Canvas workspace, scan and cut machine, YouTube, blogging, and Canva. That's about it. No, I don't. I think I did have Procreate once before on a previous iPad, but like I say, I couldn't take it all in. But I'm guessing, to be fair, Jill, I'm guessing that the principles in Canva might be similar to Procreate, but I think in Procreate, don't you get like brushes and you can make designs with brushes and stuff. But yeah, no, I don't use it. Right, I'm going to go. So I'm going to end the live. I'm going to say good night. I'm going to get Eddie, take him for a run around the garden, and then I'm going to sit down and get myself a drink and see what I can find to watch. As I say, probably on YouTube. So are you there? Oh, come on, Ed, what are you doing? Because I've said his name, he's jumping up at my chair now. So I'm going to say good night. Take care, everybody, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.